What is up, everybody? I am Adam Rankin. Of course, the man next to me needs no introduction, but I will give him a small one anyways, because he is one of the best running backs in the National Football League. He is somebody who should be on your list to take in the first round, and if not, I'm going to be personally offended. But please welcome to the show, Austin Ekeler. Austin, how you doing?
Adam, hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm doing great, man. Looking forward to talking about a little ball today.
Why are you so cool? Listen, this is insane because you're doing this show, which is incredible. But a lot of my friends in the industry, the Triple Play podcast, my friend Jay the Plug, obviously you're going to be doing a new show this season with Liz Loza, a good friend of mine. What's going on? Why are you so cool to us? I don't know that we deserve you.
I think, there's a misconception about, media and podcasts, and because I don't know, a lot of times, you see things on the news and it's like, okay, usually not good things, right? But if you really look at media outlets, if you really look at, when you're doing interviews, use it as a tool, right? This is a way for us to connect with communities, with people that have built up these platforms that we use today. And if it weren't for the platform, the NFL platform, I wouldn't live the life that I live today. So I just want to take the time to, get on these shows and talk to people, give content, give my time, and just a way for me to say thank you. Say thank you and try to give you a little bit more than just a thank you, give you some insight. You want to ask some questions, let's go. Maybe you heard some of my interviews and like some of my content, something like that. It's just a different way for me to get out into the community and say, I appreciate all of you and yourself right here, Adam, for, putting this on.
Well, we really appreciate it. It's amazing. And I guess my first question to you, how is it, like, your name is out there a lot. Do you go, especially during fantasy season, do you spend a lot of time going around and checking your average draft position? Is that something that, obviously because you're in fantasy, so you got to know it's sort of research, but do you kind of check that stuff out?
I don't at all. I just know if I'm drafting, because I'm going to have my fantasy league coming up, I'm drafting myself first if I have the opportunity, right? I'm betting on myself, right? I don't understand where people have me in the draft, he's coming off injury. I'm a little skeptical about him. Like, I get all that. But here's the thing. I'm still the same person. I'm healthy, coming back, ball's going to be in my hands. With our new offensive coordinator, coming over from the Saints, look at what he did with Kamara, and he's bringing that same system over here. So as long as I have the ball in my hands, I'm going to be effective with it. I'm going to make something happen. And so it's like, what else would you want from your running back on your fantasy team? And I'll be catching the ball too. So PPR leagues, absolutely better be picking me up.
See, look at that, dropping PPR knowledge. This is what we love. This is what we love about you. And when Joe Lombardi came aboard, did he talk to you about Alvin Kamara and like how he's used him in the past and kind of given you a little bit of a roadmap of how you're going to be used this season?
Yeah, it really just comes down to, hey, if you continue to make plays, which is what Kamara used to do, we're going to give you the ball. Like, they had to find different ways to get this man the ball. I'm like, absolutely, that's what I want here. That's what I expect here. We have playmakers. We have Keenan Allen. We got Jay Hurd, who's going to be getting us the ball. And if you continue to show out, guess what? You're going to see more love. You're going to see more of the ball. You're going to get more trust from Jay Hurd. Even when things are cloudy, like Philip used to throw me the ball. Okay, go make something happen. Make a guy miss. Turn a negative play into 5, 6, 7, 10 yards. So that's I'm looking forward to doing that this year as well. And so yeah, it's just another opportunity. I'm looking forward to it.
You averaged over 100 scrimmage yards per game. I don't know. That seems pretty good. I don't know if people like that or not, if anything like that. But I do want to show. I'm going to show you one thing, though, because I know you said you don't draft or you don't look at the average draft position. These are, if you like these rankings, they're mine. If not, they're Michael Florio's. We have you at number 5. I don't want to say stuff behind your back and have you find out later, like, Rank had me 5th? What's up with that? What do you think of this list right here? Personally, because of everybody on this list, you and Christian are the only guys I've talked to. But so I would probably bump you up a little bit. But how do you feel about this list right here?
Let's straight. Yeah, as far as just running backs, there's a lot of great running backs in the NFL. A lot of great running backs, especially when it comes to fantasy. Kamara, Derrick Henry, he's just an absolute unit. There's no one like him in the NFL. He's definitely going to be running the rock, 30 times a game, and he doesn't get hurt, and he runs people over, and he scores touchdowns. Like, I want that guy on my fantasy team too. Kamara, he's kind of like me, right? He's catching the ball, right. He's running the ball. I want that guy on my fantasy. Christian, was hurt a little bit last year, banged up, just like me. But it's like, you don't lose faith in these guys. Like, they have a new opportunity the whole offseason to get back. They're still dynamic players. We still can do some great things. Even Dalvin Cook, he's just all around great running back, right? Whoever you put him in in the offense, he's going to produce, right? I feel like the same way about myself. I feel the same way about, all these guys besides, Derrick Henry, who obviously just going to run the ball.
Right.
But as far as this list, yeah, I think we're all in good company. This is the list I'm competing against in fantasy this year, right? Like I'm trying to beat all these guys out in fantasy points, right? Not directly, but just
not direct.
My play, I'm trying to play as well as I can. And so, yeah, I think this is a great list. I think you could add a few more in here as far as just like really notable people.
Yeah, I think you convinced me. I might have to move you up to 3. If I'm being honest, I might have to do that.
Well, here's the thing: it's always a roll the dice, It's all because you don't know who injuries, you don't know who's going to pop off this year. Like it's you know who has a skill set that can create, which I feel like I've proven that over the past few years. Chargers obviously saw at me, gave me a second contract, so it's like okay, you're kind of taking a gamble on these guys. All right, like I need my guys to stay healthy and get out there and make plays, right? And it's all of us make plays in different ways too. So it's just like, who do you prefer?
Right. And you know what? If you look at this list, and I might be a little bit biased, who's playing with the best quarterback? If you look at this list right now, who's got the best quarterback?
Oh, I'm saying Jay Hurt for sure.
There it is. Yeah, I'm with it. I would say it if you did it. That is.
I was gonna say because Drew Brees is retired now. So.
He's retired.
Yep. He was actually at our practice the other day.
Oh,
giving Jay Herb some insights. Let's go.
If you ever want to hurt LaDainian's feelings, because LaDainian and I have lockers next to each other, although he's probably requested to move when we move into the new studio. But I asked him because the year that they had Drew Brees and they had LaDainian on the same team. If they wouldn't have picked Eli Manning, who they traded for Phillip Rivers, they could have selected Larry Fitzgerald. I think that would have been a good 3.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd have been solid. But Larry, he's just teach tape for everything, man. Just what he does in the community, him playing just for so long, so consistently, and just being a good mentor, just the all NFL players. That guy's special. Definitely special.
Yeah, he's somebody from around the league that you admire. And who are some of your favorite players? I mean, not including your teammates. Like, do you get a chance to watch somebody? I'm not trying to lead you to Antonio Gibson, but do you get a chance to watch? No, I'm just saying, but like, do you get a chance to watch a lot of players like that to really develop a sense of like, oh, this is a guy that I really like or anything like that?
It's funny. I actually didn't really start doing that until I started like my streaming company. And then actually when I started streaming myself, I started my own fantasy football. And in my own fantasy football, I was watching other players, right? And I actually, we just practiced against him, but Raheem Mostert, right? He was one of my running backs. Like, I made a relationship. He's in the streaming world too, so he's a guy that I really respect and love his game too. Dude's crazy fast. You just watch him at practice, and the man can turn a corner. But yeah, really looking forward to him. He's just a good, genuine guy too. He reminds me a lot of myself, just entrepreneurial, family man as well. So he's one of my guys for sure. That's not on my team.
Last night, you obviously didn't play against the San Francisco 49ers. You got a chance. By the way, SoFi Stadium, super nice. A quick aside, not that we need to go into that, but Trey Lance was out there. Obviously, a high draft pick, the number 3 overall selection. What did you think of him and his performance?
Man, one thing that really stood out to me, he's throwing that thing so hard. I was just like, dang, is he always throw like this? But yeah, he was lasering the ball. Like, I think there was a couple picks because of it too. He was just bouncing off the receiver's hands. Obviously, got to catch the ball. But I was just like, man, like take some steam off that thing, man. But who knows? I thought he ran well. I didn't realize how athletic he was, just as far as like his legs. I see that being a common theme now with NFL quarterbacks. I think Lamar and then Pat Mahomes kind of started that trend, and now we see Jay Herb's got some legs on him as well. We'll be able to see those when that comes out. But the mobility and just the arm strength. Like once he gets his touchdown, because he's hitting him on the right spot. He's making the right reads, things like that. But just easy now. Like man, I don't know if it was nervous or what, but he was slinging that thing. He was like, hey, all right, you got your jitters out, right? Just play and catch. North
Dakota State producing all these quarterbacks because Easton Stick's out there dealing it's an embarrassment of riches now. You guys have the Chargers have too many good quarterbacks. It just seems unfair. But what about so we're taking you in the first round. Who's our second round guy? Who are we really diving in on for another running back we can take to pair with you this season to lead us to a championship? I'm thinking Antonio Gibson, but again, don't let me give you or make you say what I want you to say.
See, I don't know. I don't know because it depends. Okay, how many people do I have in my league? Because my leagues, like I did a 20-man
Whoa.
league last year, right? So we're talking backups. We're talking people that are being drafted, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like he was a high or a second round pick for us last year, just because he coming as a draft pick. I don't really necessarily have a definitive second round pick. Especially when it comes to running backs, it just depends on who's available, right?
Well, I have a lot of Bears fans that follow me. Obviously, I'm a Chicago person. Can you just say David Montgomery, just so Berlissimo and all these Bears fans will be happy?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like any of the starting running backs, as long as we stay healthy, guess what? We're going to catch a few checkdowns. We're going to be consistent scoring you points, right? I can't say specifically, who it is, whether it's David Montgomery or not. But if you're a starting running back in the NFL, you're going to get some love. You're going to get some love. I mean, I can't tell you how much it's going to be, right? It depends on your offensive coordinator, the style you guys play, and the ability to make something happen, right? But definitely, I've learned as my short, fantasy football career, you got to have a running back that catches the ball, like at least one, right? If you don't have Derrick Henry, okay, give me someone who can catch the ball, right? Because that's just going to be the easiest way to rack up points, especially in a PPR league.
I also noticed too that when I've been drafting in 10 or 12 team leagues, a receiver that always falls to me, which seems ridiculous, is Keenan Allen. Why does he not get enough respect around the league? 100 catches last year. This is one of the most. Listen, I've gotten in trouble for not believing in Keenan before. I admitted my mistake to him, and I told him I would never do it again. What's everybody else's excuse?
Man, I just think it's just the nature, the nature of the Chargers. We just moved to LA, and I think that is kind of a shock on our fan base, right? We're not getting as much press as a lot of these other teams are getting, just because I feel like in LA there's a lot going on. Like Keenan is an amazing receiver, amazing. Like even every day I get amazed. I've been with him for 5 years. I'm watching this guy run routes, and I'm just like, wow. Like he just gets open every time. He's open. He's literally open every time. He'll have a route and he's supposed to get in the spot. He does some crazy one-step skip, jump, hop, and turns around and he's in the spot on time, open. And so as far as me, I see it every day. So I understand what type of player he is. But as far as the press and the covers that he gets, I feel like he's not a guy that talks a lot too, right? He's not a guy that's out there, jawing it up, getting himself media attention. He kind of likes to stay on the radar. And so I think that just helps as far as popularity as a receiver, but he's definitely a top receiver that's going to catch a lot of balls as well this year.
One of the guys I keep drafting a lot too is Tyron Johnson, your teammate. I thought at the end of last season, I thought he started looking pretty good at the end of last year. I think he's my sleeper guy. I'm starting to get, now when people talk about him, they say it's an Adam Rank pick or anything like that. How's he been looking so far in camp?
Yeah, man, he's one of our speed guys, right? Like we talked about Keenan. Keenan's not going to take the top off, right? He's not that high speed guy he's got some speed, but he's not hitting 23 miles an hour like some of these guys are that you need to really, back these safeties up. And so right now that's what he's been for us. Him and Jalen Guyton have been our speed guys. As far as coming in, he had a good opportunity to play last night. And we'll see how he goes. We'll see how he plays. The thing is he's going to have an opportunity. I don't know. It's one of these spots where it's like, hey, we have a lot of speed guys competing right now for a job. And it comes down to almost special teams in that area as well, too. So if he can find a spot in special teams, I feel like he'll have a good chance of making the squad.
Overall outlook for the Los Angeles Chargers this season, first-year coach Brandon Staley. What can we expect from the Chargers this year?
Yeah, so there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of hype around the Chargers right now, and I feel like it's all good hype for good reasons. Because of our new offense that we're coming in. I'm obviously offensive biased. I love Coach Staley, what he's doing with the defense. Absolutely, you guys will have a chance to see that in a couple weeks. As far as offensively, I'm super excited with Joe, and then also Jay Herb coming back, healthy. Got a year under his belt where he knows he's going to be the starter, coming in with that mindset, build confidence in himself and in this game. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for us as far as skill players. We got a whole new offensive line, literally a whole new offensive line. So there's a lot of anticipation for us to be really good. And it's because we have a lot of good players on our team. As long as we can continue to stay healthy, it's going to be a big thing. We got to stay healthy, right? We got to stay healthy because we need these guys that we're paying all this money to be on the field. Because why? Because those are the most consistent guys who make the most plays, right? That's the story of a lot of different teams, right? How healthy can you get? And then if you can't, okay, what's our depth looking like that can continue to sustain a high level of play? So as far as us, there's a lot of anticipation. As long as we keep it together, we're going to have a great outlook as far as looking, to make a run for the playoffs at the end of the year.
And I want to remind everybody that Austin has teamed up with Yahoo Sports to create a unique weekly fantasy program, Ekeler's Edge, starring alongside Yahoo fantasy analyst Liz Loza, good friend of mine. That'll be dropping every Wednesday. Ekeler's Edge will see the running back break down the top fantasy storylines of the week, including interviews with some of his fellow teammates, some fellow stars from around the NFL, and some fantasy enthusiasts. Make sure you check it out. Yahoo Sports and Ekeler will also host live conversations throughout the season to answer fans' questions, co-streaming on the platform and Ekeler's social channels. So make sure you're following him on Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Also want to point out, too, to thank fantasy fans for their support. Austin will give away one signed jersey each week of the NFL season to a fantasy football player who wins their matchup and has Ekeler in their starting lineup. So not only are you getting one of the best players in all of fantasy football just by starting him, which you should be doing anyways, you could also win one of his jerseys. Fans can enter by posting a screenshot of their lineup on Twitter or Instagram and tagging Austin in it. And listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for being here. It is really a humbling experience. How gracious you are with all the fans, and not only for this show, but for a lot of shows out there too. I think that speaks to your character, and I know I speak for everybody. We're rooting for you this season.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Adam. Thanks for having me on, man. Best of luck for you this season as well. Best of luck in your fantasy team. Hopefully you get to pick me up.
Austin, I guarantee you, every opportunity I have, I am going to be picking you. And again, it's a little, and pairing you with Antonio Gibson. I'm trying to make that thing work. We'll get you, we'll get Antonio Gibson, maybe we'll get Herbert later on. But thank you so much for being here. Austin Ekeler, everybody. There he goes. As I